Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the second segment of what's going to be three-part videos that I am developing on analyzing the Rails process. In this second video, we're going to be going over the new create, update, edit, and destroy actions. And I'm going to put at the bottom the link to the first video so that you can watch them in succession. So in the first video that I created, we walked through the basic files that were created, but then we stopped and took a much deeper look at how the controller works, because I want you to see that the controller is the traffic cop for the application. The controller, and we're looking at it here, the blogs underscore controller.rb. The controller is checking to see what route is communicating with the routing system, and from there it is assigning what values should be made available to the view. It's communicating with the database via these models here, this at blogs uh, equal blog.all model. And so it's very important to understand everything that the controller is doing for us. So I went through the index and show actions in the last video. Also, these are methods, but a very common convention in Rails is to call these methods actions. So moving forward, you will know what I'm referring to when I say methods and actions throughout this video. Next, let's get into what the new action does. So let me point your direction here to the new action. Um, and what the new action does here, it creates or makes possible a new blog in this application's context. But a new does not technically create a new blog. The create action creates a new blog. And this is the create action here. And you see that there's a lot more going on. Um, and I'm going to get into the subtle difference between the new and create action. New and create can be confusing, but if we go to the views folder down here, so I'm going to direct your attention to the views folder, and then we go to the blogs folder here, and what we find is items that are mapped to the actions in this controller. Now, not all of them, and I will explain why, are mapped to it. But let's take a closer look at the connection. So let's go to new here, new.html.erb. And this new does not actually create a new blog. All new does is give us the ability to do something called instantiation. It means, the word instantiation, that it instantiates a new blog. In other words, it creates a new instance of the blog. So blog does not, so if you go to, see, here to the new action, where it says at blog equals blog.new. Blog.new does not create a new blog because it doesn't have any parameters passed into it. In our application, the way we create a new blog is by typing things in. So let me direct your attention here. So when we go to new blog and we start to type things in, that's what creates the new blog. So all new does is gives us the ability to have this form element here. So here in the browser, when I click on the new blog link like I did, so I go back, click on new blog link, that is the action that triggers this new method. So the new action or method is this right here. And when you click on it, that's when that new action is triggered. Um, And then from there, we have to uh, connect new to create. And so the new action just makes the form available because it's mapped directly to the new, see here, go back to, there we go, to the new .html.erb. Okay, and let's see my notes. Uh, yeah, and then form. All right, and but to create it, and then so to create it, it's different. The create actually has the create action that is actually has what you see here in the create action. It's a lot going on, and because it has a lot more logic in it than the new action, and that's because create action is actually what creates the blog. So it has something that says here. Um, where is it? So at blog gets blog.new, and then we pass in blog underscore params. So it's taking data via the parentheses with the parameters of blog underscore params. And I'll get into that a bit later. So in the new action here, there is no parameters being passed in. It just offers us this form here, which you also see the code for it here. That's what new does. But the create action is what takes the blog underscore params here, which is referring, so this blog underscore params refers to the data that we input in the browser, in the form. So the title and the body. So I type here new title, and some text in the body. That is what ends up becoming the blog underscore params. So if you look at the button here as well, um, that's something that Rails creates, and it's trying to help us understand what is going on by calling it create blog button. Of course, I can change this to say publish or save, and I'm going to customize that later. But this gives you a better idea of the workflow. So when I hit create blog, and you see there, the data that I inputted, that I typed in, becomes these blog underscore parameters that gets passed through the create action here. Okay, let's see. So we started in the new action here, where we were in the form, right? And then we got rerouted to the create action, from the new action to the create action. And when I clicked on that create blog button, it sent the parameters that I typed in and then performed some validation logic here. So if at blog.save, meaning if the data that I inputted there is valid, then format.html, format the HTML, and redirect it to a new instance of blog and output a notice that says blog was successfully created. Now, simultaneously, what you see here is the next line that says format.json render. So it's saying render the show action, or rather, the show action, which the show action renders from the show.html.erb in the views folder, in the views blogs folder here. I hope I'm not going too fast for you, but it renders this. So it's rendering the show. The show action is rendering the show form in the browser. And let's see. All right. Now, actually, to keep things simple, um, I'm not using this JSON format, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Remove it. thy JSON format. Removeth thy JSON. All right. Um, all right. So we got rid of that. Let's look at my notes here. All right. Now, just to show you that I didn't break anything, if I hit the refresh button, everything is still good. Everything is still there. All right. And let's see. So, and let me go ahead. I'm going to go back. And you see, now we have 3 blog posts here. I'm going to go ahead and create, I think this is a fourth blog post, just to show you that by removing the format.json, I did not break anything. And then click on create blog, and there it is. And we have, actually, yes. So let's go back, take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that is the fourth blog post, and everything is still working. So the reason why I removed that format.json code call, which JSON is just another data type that's used in API development, and I'm not doing that right now. So why have code in there that I don't need? It's always good to keep things simple. The less code that you have, the more or the more you minimize the number of bugs you have in your application. So the format.html is referring to the page in the browser. And it right here, format.html, redirect underscore to @blog. So Rails knows by, and this is where the magic of Rails, it knows by default, and this is the it's magic, and when it knows to redirect to the @blog instance, which means redirect to the show page, and of course provide that notice. So if I decided to do, I want to show you something different here. Let's see, redirect to, I'll do this, blog underscore path, and then pass the @blog instance as a parameter. So if I decide to do that, it will work exactly the same, and we can test that out in the browser. So if I refresh it, you see it still works. I'll go ahead and create yet another post. This is the 5th post of the day, and create blog, and there it is. We go back, and everything is working just fine. So what I did there here with the redirect underscore to blog underscore path, passed in the instance of @blog. All I did there was just, is a different way to code this that we had that Rails generated for us, the @blog instance. I'm going to leave it the way it was because, again, the less code you have, the more you minimize the number of bugs that your application has. Another thing that you can change is that notice. So, you may want to personalize it more. It doesn't have to, you don't have to keep it @blog was successfully created. You could do something like, your post is now live, and yeah, your post is now live, and make it exciting like that with exclamation point. And then let's create a new blog so you can see how that works. A 6th blog, but who is counting? Create blog. You see your post is now live. And go back. It's all there. All right. So now that that notice, I'm going to customize that later so it's better looking. You can certainly do that. So new and create actions are mapped together, and hopefully I demonstrated that to you successfully. Now I'm going to move on to the edit action. Here is the edit action. And the edit action is actually connected to the update action. And so now that we understand how the new and create actions work, we can understand how edit and update actions work. They're both mapped together as well, and it's very similar to the new and create action. Uh, so notice that notice that in edit, we actually have no code in there. It's empty. And Rails knows that the edit action is referring to, here in the view blogs folder, the edit.html.erb file here, and Rails knows that. Um, and we can test that out in the browser. So I'll go ahead and edit the 6th blog. But who is counting? Well, I am counting, my dear sir. And then we click on update blog, and we see it updated there. All right, so in the edit.html.erb file, the @blog makes it the blog instance. I'm referring to this here. All right, and it makes it the blog instance variable, which makes it available to the view, which makes it available to the end user through the browser. So when you click on the update blog button, we go back and let's edit this button here, the update blog button. When you click on that, it sends the data that we typed in to the update action as parameters, similar to when we were in new and create. So blogs underscore controller.rb is the update. So it sends it here, and again, we see it right here, the blog underscore params. So all that data that we're inputting through the forms gets sent as a form of blog underscore params. Alrighty. Dates. So we talked about that. So edit, yeah, and that also, that blog underscore params, by taking your data and converting it into blog underscore params, makes that connection to the database. So update here does all that hard work. Now the blog underscore params, we should go over that, and that's another method which takes what we submit in the form and makes it available to the update and the new method. Okay, and to keep this consistent, I'm going to go ahead and remove that format.json because, again, not working with the APIs right now. So I don't really need it. Save that. All right, and we can always add that later if we need to. And lastly, I don't want to get too lengthy with this video. Lastly, we have the destroy method, which is the way we delete the record, and we can test that out. We'll do so right now. So let's go back and let's go ahead and delete this top one. So we go to destroy, and it asks you, are you sure? Click OK, and you see there that it's gone. So now let's go to the index.html.erb, and you see here in the Ruby code at blogs.each do blog. All the code here from all this here, right? Actually, even going up, let's highlight this whole thing, the whole table. So all the code there renders in the browser, and you'll even notice up here the paragraph tag with the ID of notice, and then the Ruby code notice. This is what creates the rendering of the notice of your blog post is now live and ready to view, or whatever it is that you put in there, and that's what shows up. And so we have all this in the table format that I highlighted. All this is the table format, and I can demonstrate in the here in the table header tag just to show you that that's what it is. And I'm going to add blog title instead, actually. Blog title. Save that. And then if I refresh, you'll see blog title here. Okay? Let's see. All right. Went over that. Now here in the table data field, this is all the table data field. If you look at in link underscore to destroy, and that's the actual, oh, didn't mean to do that. So that's displaying this link here, destroy. Now, the way Ruby on Rails works, it wants to kind of guide the developer because you see, no one ever actually creates a link or a button that says destroy. Usually it's delete, remove, something like that. But what Ruby on Rails wants to do is guide the developer to understand, or the understanding that this here, this string of destroy, is connected to the destroy action in the blogs underscore controller.rb in controllers. And so what we can do, I can go ahead and change that to delete post. All right. And also let's change the notice in the blogs underscore controller.rb from blog was successfully destroyed to, let's call it post was removed. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove this one as well. Actually, refresh. There you see delete post. I'm going to go ahead and delete the post. Are you sure? Yes. See, post was removed. All right, so I'm going to stop right there. I am going to make one more video. I think in this one, it's going to be focused on analyzing how the routing works. And that'll be the third and final video of this three-part videos that I'm creating on analyzing the Rails process. Thank you for watching.